Amelia Bedelia helps out. Have a good day, said Mr. Rogers. And you help your aunt, Effie. I will, said Effie. I will come back for you late this afternoon, said Mr. Rogers. He drove off. What a grand house, said Effie. Miss Emma is a grand woman, said Amelia Bedelia. She went to the door and knocked. Come in, called Miss Emma. Amelia Bedelia and Effie went inside. I am glad to see you, said Miss Emma. Sumter is sick and my garden is a mess. Don't you fret, said Amelia Bedelia. We will take care of that. Just tell us what to do. First, said Miss Emma, weed the garden. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. Is there anything else? Yes, said Miss Emma. But go ahead and start before the sun gets hot. Come on, Effie, said Amelia Bedelia. Let's get busy. They went to the garden. It does have a lot of weeds, said Effie. She started to pull one. Stop, said Amelia Bedelia. What are you doing? Trying to get the weeds out of the garden, said Effie. Get them out, said Amelia Bedelia. She said to weed the garden, not unweed it. Oh, said Effie. I wonder why she wants more weeds, Amelia Bedelia thought. Those weeds are little, she said. Maybe vegetables get hot just like people. They need big weeds to shade them. That's why Miss Emma told us to wait before the sun gets hot. That makes sense, said Effie. I see some really big weeds. Let's get them, said Amelia Bedelia. They did. Soon the garden was weeded. Amelia Bedelia and Effie went back to the house. The garden is weeded, said Amelia Bedelia. Good, said Miss Emma. Now I want you to stake the beans. Here is the string to tie them. You can use this saw to cut the stakes. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. There are bugs on the potato plants. Take this bug powder and dust them, said Miss Emma. If you say so, said Amelia Bedelia. The telephone rang. Miss Emma went to answer it. Amelia Bedelia found all the things she needed. She and Effie went back to the garden. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. We will stake the beans first. Have you ever done that? Said Effie. No, said Amelia Bedelia. But she just said to stake them. Anybody can do that. Can I help? Said Effie. Yes, said Amelia Bedelia. You count the bean plants. Effie counted and said, There are 15. Amelia Bedelia unwrapped the package. She shook her head and said, That's a mighty little bit of steak for 15 plants. But it was all she had. She took the saw and cut the steak into 15 pieces. I could have cut better with a knife, Amelia Bedelia said. Why didn't you use one? Said Effie. Did Miss Emma say to use this saw? Said Amelia Bedelia. Yes, said Effie. Then that's why, said Amelia Bedelia. Now, hold the steak while I tie it. Amelia Bedelia and Effie staked those beans. All right, beans, said Amelia Bedelia. Enjoy your steak, Effie laughed. Your work is fun, she said. That it is, said Amelia Bedelia. Now those bugs are waiting to be dusted. How do we do that? Said Effie. I will catch and you dust, said Amelia Bedelia. Here bug, here buggy, buggy bug. They cut and dusted every bug. Why did she want us to do that? Said Effie. Most people want bugs killed. But Miss Emma is not most people, said Amelia Bedelia. Those bugs may be her pets. They are pretty little things. If you like bugs, said Effie. That takes care of that, said Amelia Bedelia. Let's go in. I made lunch for you, called Miss Emma. After you eat, throw some scraps to the chickens. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. And Amelia Bedelia, said Miss Emma, my garden club is meeting here this afternoon. Please make a tea cake. I will be glad to, said Amelia Bedelia. I do love to bake. Amelia Bedelia and Effie ate their lunch. I wonder where she keeps her scraps, said Amelia Bedelia. I will ask her. She went to Miss Emma's room. She came right back. We will have to look for them, said Amelia Bedelia. She is asleep. They looked and looked. Here's a whole bag of scraps, said Effie. Good, said Amelia Bedelia. Take some and we'll throw them to the chickens. They went out to the chicken pen. Effie threw the scraps. The chickens came running. Look at that, said Amelia Bedelia. I never knew chickens liked to play. Aren't they funny? Said Effie. They sure are, said Amelia Bedelia. But I've got to get that tea cake made. I never heard of tea cake, said Effie. Neither have I, said Amelia Bedelia. Then how can you make one? Said Effie. Well, said Amelia Bedelia, I know what tea is, and I know what cake is. I will put them together, and I'll have tea cake. That's easy, said Effie. Amelia Bedelia got a mixing bowl. She put a little of this and some of that into it. She mixed and she mixed. Now for the tea, she said. Amelia Bedelia opened some tea bags and mixed the tea into the batter. It looks awful, said Effie. Different folks have different tastes, said Amelia Bedelia. She poured the batter into a pan. Soon the cake was baking. Amelia Bedelia began to mix another cake. What kind are you making now? Said Effie. Nut cake, said Amelia Bedelia. Miss Emma loves that. Finally, the cakes were baked. Are you going to put icing on them? Said Effie. That's a good idea, said Amelia Bedelia. It will fancy them up. She mixed white icing and pink icing. You ice the tea cake pink, she said. I will ice the nut cake white. They finished the cakes and put them away. Miss Emma came into the kitchen. The cake is ready, said Amelia Bedelia. It smells good, said Miss Emma. There's one more thing I wanted to do. There is a bare spot in my front lawn. Please sow these grass seeds on it. We'll be glad to, said Amelia Bedelia. Come on, Effie. They went out front. That spot is bare, said Effie. It sure is, said Amelia Bedelia. She sat down and took 2 needles and some thread from her bag. She threaded the needles. Here is yours, she said. Now let's sew. Amelia Bedelia and Effie sewed those grass seeds on the bare spot. Tie the ends together, said Amelia Bedelia. We don't want the seeds to fall off. They went into the house. Miss Emma was in the kitchen. Let's walk around some, she said. Show me what you've done. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. They walked by the chicken pen. Land's sakes, said Miss Emma. What are those colored things? Scraps, said Amelia Bedelia. Those chickens did have fun. My quilting pieces, said Miss Emma. My good quilting pieces. Did we use the wrong scraps? Said Amelia Bedelia. Go get them, Effie. Miss Emma walked to the garden. She stopped and stared. Those weeds, she said. Those big weeds. We got the biggest we could find, said Amelia Bedelia. Miss Emma looked at Amelia Bedelia. Thank goodness Sumter will be back soon, she said. Why didn't you stake the beans? We did, said Amelia Bedelia. There just wasn't much steak to give them. Show her, Effie. Effie held up a bush. There goes my dinner, said Miss Emma. She looked at the potatoes. I see the bugs are dead, she said. Dead? Said Amelia Bedelia. Did we dust them too much? I'll get you some more. Miss Emma laughed and said, I can live without them. You've done enough. We enjoyed doing it, said Amelia Bedelia. I've seen all I want to see, said Miss Emma. They all went inside. The ladies should be here soon, said Miss Emma. The table is set, the tea is made. You can put the cake on this tray. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. I'll let the ladies in, said Miss Emma. She left the kitchen. Let's get the cakes ready, said Amelia Bedelia. I hear the ladies coming now. Soon Miss Emma called. Amelia Bedelia, please bring the tea. Coming, said Amelia Bedelia. Bring the cakes, Effie. Amelia Bedelia set the tea tray in front of Miss Emma. Go ahead and pass the cake, said Miss Emma. Every lady took some cake. I'm starved, said Mrs. Lee. I can't wait for the tea. She bit into her cake. Delicious, she said. I've never tasted this kind before. You've never tasted nut cake? Said Miss Mary. This isn't nut cake, said Mrs. Lee. Try the pink kind. It is good, said Grandma Wilson. Hand me another piece. There, said Miss Emma. Your tea is poured. Who cares about tea? Said Mrs. Mark. I want some more pink cake. Emma, do tell us what kind of cake this is, said Mrs. Bloom. Miss Emma took some cake. My favorite, she said, nut cake. No, the pink kind, said Ella Jean. Try the pink kind. But all the pink cake was gone. Stop keeping secrets, said Grandma Wilson. What kind of cake was that? Ask Amelia Bedelia, said Miss Emma. She made it. A car horn honked outside. Mr. Rogers, said Amelia Bedelia. Come on, Effie. Miss Emma followed Amelia Bedelia to the kitchen. What kind of cake was the pink one? She asked. Amelia Bedelia looked puzzled. Tea cake, she said. That's what you said to make. Tea, you mean? said Miss Emma. She began to laugh. Amelia Bedelia saw something. Oh, I plumb forgot, she said. Your grass seeds. Miss Emma looked at them. She laughed harder and put them around her neck. Amelia Bedelia, she said, you are really something. Effie Lou, you are lucky to have Amelia Bedelia for an aunt. I know, said Effie Lou. Amelia Bedelia knows everything. The horn honked again. Hurry, Effie Lou, said Amelia Bedelia. We can't keep Mr. Rogers waiting.